This is my phone. It's not a smartphone. It's not quite a dumb phone. It's a dumbified iPhone. 4 months ago, I did an experiment. I listened to music exclusively through an iPod for a month. I thought this was going to be a simple, fun thing, but it changed my life. In week 3 of this iPod series, I dumbified my iPhone and got my life back. Everything really is so much better without the constant distraction of my phone. But then the real world hit and I had to figure out how to balance my ideals with reality. Well, now it's 4 months later and some things have changed. I've gotten a lot of questions about how I did what I did to my phone, if I'm still doing it, and how you can do the same. So today I'm going to walk you through why you might want to do this on your own phone and how specifically to do it. I've adapted my own method, so I have some recommendations for you, and there's another very significant change in my own life that has happened since I published the iPod series. I'll tell you that at the end. Let's get into it. First, let's get this out of the way. Yes, this is what my phone looks like 4 months later. I'm still doing it. My screen is black and white, I have the matte screen protector on, the minimalist app launcher, the whole thing. I'm essentially copying the Light phone. This is a super minimalist phone that only does calls, texts, maps. You can load music on it, podcasts, that's about it. There's no other apps at all. I loved this idea, but if you watched week 3 of the iPod series, you might remember the Achilles heel of this dumb phone approach: laundry. The laundry room at my apartment complex only accepts payment via a smartphone app. I did actually pre-order the new Light Phone 3. I think what they're doing is awesome, but after this experience, I canceled my pre-order. Of course, it's not just the laundry. The rest of the world does not operate this way. I dumbified my iPhone specifically to get away from addictive apps and wasting time on my phone when I could be living my life. But along with that came a lot of genuinely difficult things. So like my wife says, "Hey, I added some things to our shared grocery list. Can you stop by the store on your way home?" And I'm just gonna reply, "Sorry, babe, I dumbified my iPhone, so I don't even have that app anymore." That's not gonna go over well. Here's a big thing that I didn't include in the iPod series. During the time when I had my iPhone dumbified, there was a genuine medical emergency with a friend of mine while I was driving. Fortunately, I still had the Maps app installed because if I had gone fully flip phone era, which I considered doing, I mean, what am I gonna do? Yeah, so I'm sorry you're having an emergency, but I'm doing this experiment for a month where I'm just using this Nokia phone, so I don't actually have Maps. I can't really help you out right now. No! I pulled up the Maps app and I routed to the nearest emergency room. By the way, everything turned out fine. But I realized through not only situations like these, but also the mundane stuff like the laundry, you just have to have some apps sometimes. And if you don't, then some things are going to be a lot harder. Remember my Swiss Army knife analogy? Your phone is like a Swiss Army knife, but you should decide what goes in it. So over the last 4 months, that's exactly what I've done. So I'm talking about being in control of your digital life, so I want to take a quick second and thank the sponsor of today's video, Surfshark. Surfshark is all about privacy and security. Their VPN allows you to virtually travel all over the world, browse privately on the internet, block ads and malware, and a lot more. I use Surfshark VPN for all of these things. I mean, the most practical way is to browse the internet privately and securely. Surfshark VPN offers unlimited devices, so I can get everything connected securely. You can also virtually travel the world, which means I can watch shows that aren't available in the US. Like my wife loves British TV, and that means there's all kinds of shows that aren't available in the US that she can now watch. They provide other services as well, like Surfshark Alert to notify you when your personal information has been leaked. This is one of those things that if you want to get serious about your digital life, you just gotta have. By signing up, you'll get a 30-day money-back guarantee, as well as 4 months extra for free. To get started yourself, click the link in the description. My general rule of thumb is, if it's something that's a tool, something that's genuinely useful, and solves a problem in an easier way by being on my phone, great, let's install it. That's why I installed my banking app, or Venmo, or the airline app when I'm taking a trip. If I only need the app for a short period of time, I'll uninstall it when I'm done. Because here's what I've realized. I downloaded the Uber app for this trip I took, right? I had to get from the airport to the hotel. It's super convenient. I'd rather do that than figure out a taxi. But when the trip is over, Uber starts sending me notifications like, hey, check out Uber Eats, or hey, we're running a promo right now. And that's how they get you. You turn on notifications for the helpful stuff, and then they start sending over unhelpful stuff, and then there's no way to turn just that off. So my solution is, if I'm not using it, and especially if it's sending me notifications that I don't want, I uninstall it. Let's talk about what's not on my phone. First off, there's no color. If you want to make your phone as boring as possible, turning it black and white will get you there real quick. There are times when I'll turn the color back on, like if my wife sends me a picture of our kids, like it just does not hit the same in black and white. Also, maps are harder to read in black and white, so I'll turn the color back on, but I will manually do it every time. You can program a button to do it, but I want this to be as hard as possible to do, otherwise I'll do it all the time. Next, no notifications. I mentioned the Uber thing already. Get out of here with that. Calls and texts only. And even then, I've set up strict focus mode rules so only certain people can get through at certain times. I've even turned off the message notifications on my computer. Game changer. Now when I sit down to work, I can just work uninterrupted and check messages after. The next thing that's not on my phone, social media. I was spending an hour a day on Instagram and I had nothing to show for it. At the end of the series, I've decided I'd only check it occasionally on my iPad. That hasn't gone exactly as planned, mainly because I just don't check it on my iPad. I don't check it at all. I'm free. I've probably been on Instagram 5 times in the past 4 months, and I'm not missing out on anything. I might start posting more so that the people on Instagram know what I'm doing over on YouTube and Patreon, but I feel like I've gotten it out of my system. I'm really fine without social media. Now, that being said, I also have put email back on my phone. I have notifications off, so I have to manually check it. I kinda hate email anyway, but sometimes you gotta pull up that address or the info for the thing while you're out, and it's just easier to have it. With no notifications, it's not eating up my time. It's not making me addicted to my phone. It's just a tool that I can consult when I need it. It's working fine. I've also put Safari back on my phone, and this one I'm conflicted about. I mean, I love not having it on my phone. I do. But sometimes I need to look something up. I'm in a different city, or I'm trying to find something, or I have to fill out the online form for my kid at the thing that I'm at right now physically. There's just too many instances where I have to have access to the internet. This is a slippery slope, and with that, I do spend more time reading articles and researching things, and that can lead to wasting time. This has been a back and forth process for me, but I try to get my screen time down as much as possible. I've been pretty consistently down to 3 hours per day, which is less than half of the 7 I was doing before. It's not really about the number, though, right? It's about what you're doing with your phone. Is the phone helping you live the life that you want? In my case, yes. Most of that time is spent messaging people or reading articles, falling down musical rabbit holes that might turn into videos, or just doing normal stuff like taking my kids places, using the Target app for a pickup, using the airline app, that kind of stuff. If it's a helpful tool that's not going to get in the way or try to hook me into using it more than I want to, then I'll put it on my phone as I need it. Other than that, I've kept it as simple as possible. Like I said, doing this to your phone, it's not about how few minutes of screen time you can get down to, it's all about how you feel. And the mental clarity that I've gained in the past few months, I wouldn't trade it for anything. There is no Instagram reel that could possibly be worth the mental clarity that I've gained. My brain works different now. I'm more present in everything I do. I'm still using my notebooks for to-dos and project planning in conjunction with Notion. I do use my iPhone camera, but I also bought a new camera. And yes, I'm still rocking the iPod, but I've also got streaming music apps on my phone. There's actually more to that story, but that's gonna have to be another video in the future, so you keep an eye out. The point is, look, Apple just came out with Apple Intelligence, but the solution to a technology addiction is never going to be more technology. You know what's better than AI notification summaries? Taking all of the notifications away and manually checking your phone on your time. You know what's better than AI text summaries? Actually reading the thing that someone took the time to write to you. You know what's better than AI expanding out your writing? Actually using your voice in your writing. We're using AI to expand and also summarize our writing. What are we doing? I'm not universally anti-AI, and I'm gonna move on in a second, but here's my thing. Technology should be built and used in a way that enables humans to do more human things and do them better. If it's taking away from humanity, replacing something, if it's controlling part of my life, making me dependent on it, I don't want it. If Apple Intelligence adds features that actually enable me to live the life I want better or easier, I'm absolutely for it. Until then, that's why I've kept my iPhone dumbified. I'm in control of this thing, and I feel so much better than before. Now, let's talk about how you can do this yourself. First up, you need a phone. Mine is an iPhone 13 Pro. It works great. Just use the phone you have. You don't need anything special. Mine's an iPhone, but this is all possible to do on Android as well. Step 1, delete all your apps. Literally all of them. Just do it. You can reinstall them as you need them. Trust me. Step 2, turn off your notifications. You don't have any apps anymore, remember? Of the few remaining apps, decide what you want to get through. You can also go into the focus menu and set up modes for when certain people can and can't contact you. I highly recommend this. There's a huge stretch of the day where the only person that can get through to me is my wife. Step 3, turn your screen black and white. This is the big one right here. You will lose interest in your phone real quick. There's no apps and it's black and white? Now we're talking. Step 4, install a minimalist app launcher. There are multiple apps that do this. The one I use is called Blank Spaces. This is not sponsored and you have to pay for it, but it works great for me. You basically place a widget on your home screen with the text shortcuts to whatever apps you want. And I suggest that you keep as few apps on this home screen as possible, just the essentials. These are the apps that you're going to instinctively go to. Everything else lives on the app drawer on the side. But again, right now, you don't have any apps. Only install it when the situation arises that you have to have it. And after you do the task that you need the app for, take a moment and decide if you should keep that app on your phone. Lastly, this is totally optional, but I have a matte screen protector on my phone. It softens the pixels even more. I actually recently replaced my screen protector because the old one cracked. This new one has the privacy angle feature. I also got a new case, so now this feels like it's a brand new phone, but it's still the same old dumbified iPhone. This is a constantly evolving process. I'm never going to find the setup that I just never have to change. I might install an app I need or tweak a setting or even turn the color on if I have to. It's all a process, but if I'm paying attention, I can make those choices for myself. Lastly, the Achilles heel of this approach during the iPod series was the laundry. It was actually a lot more than that, but it was frustrating that I had to have an app just to wash my clothes. Here's the irony of this whole thing. The laundry app was the thing preventing me from keeping my phone truly dumb, and now I don't need that app at all because, drumroll please, me and my family moved into a new place, and now we have our own washer and dryer. I specifically bought one that did not require an app, and man, I am not exaggerating when I say it has really been life-changing. You might think this is ridiculous, but people with kids know what I'm talking about. Now I don't have to go downstairs outside and hope that no one else is using the one machine that we have for 8 units. Come on, between the dumbified iPhone and the washer dryer in the house, I'm in a completely different place than a few months ago. Like, I'm kidding, but it's also true. If you decide to do this to your phone, let me know. I'd love to hear about how it goes for you. If you want to dive into the episode of the series where I initially dumbified my iPhone, that also goes a lot of other crazy places, but click here. To start the series from the beginning, go here.